This is the video overview for Chapter 3. Chapter 3 focuses on taxes. They are not popular, but we all need to pay them. We need to know how to calculate them and minimize your tax liability. Using tax software makes it simple and gives you a digital record of your taxes. In this chapter, you'll focus on the taxes that we pay. Sales tax is unavoidable. The tax we should be concerned about is our federal income tax, and that is what we'll focus on in this chapter. You have to decide which form to use first. The 1040A must be used if you have an IRA contribution. If you have no contributions, you'll probably be able to use the 1040EZ. Learning to calculate your adjusted gross income is also very important. You'll notice that Jamie Lee, who is an example we'll use throughout the book, has her wages plus her interest plus her raffle prize that she has to pay taxes on minus her IRA contribution for an adjusted gross income of $32,500. We also all have exemptions. If we're single, we at least have ourselves as an exemption. We also have standard deductions, or we can itemize. In most cases, unless we own a home, we'll probably use a standard deduction, and that's determined by the IRS. The exemption is also determined by IRS, and occasionally it does change. So you take your adjusted gross income that we just calculated and subtract the exemption and subtract your standard deduction, and then you find your taxable income of $22,350 in our example. And then we have to calculate what we owe using a tax table. Let's calculate Jamie Lee's using a spreadsheet. Jamie Lee has a taxable income, as we just said, of $22,350. She has to pay taxes, according to the chart, on the first $9,075. She has to pay a 10% on those taxes. So $9,075 times 10% gives us $908. Then we have to calculate from her $22,350 minus the $9,750. That's her remaining adjusted gross or her remaining income that's taxable, multiplied by 15%. So the more you make, the higher the tax bracket goes. And so she owes $19.91 for that. And if you add the two together, she owes $2,899 in taxes. Some tax strategies. It's very important that you try to pay the minimal tax by using some strategies. You want to be fair about what you pay, but you do also want to minimize what you have to pay. Home ownership is one of the best tax shelters. You can deduct your interest on the home mortgage, and you can deduct the real estate property taxes. Charitable deductions are also a good way. So if you donate to Goodwill, you can ask them for a receipt so that you have that to deduct on your taxes. IRA contributions can also maximize, and a Keogh retirement plan for self-employed can also maximize. You'll learn more about what you can do for tax strategies in the textbook, and more about getting practice for calculating adjusted gross income and taxable income, and finally the tax that you would have to pay. End of this video.